Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gent here, and tonight I'm going to be reading you a very, very special story. This story is called UNDERDIE.exe. Once upon a time, there was a man named Drew, and he loved Undertale. He loved it, he craved it, he breathed it, ever since it came out of September 2015. He completed the true pacifist route, the neutral routes, and the much dreaded genocide route. He put hours into hours and days into that single game until he eventually exhausted all possible routes. Man, this game is great, guys, but man, I wish there was more to it. I've beaten everything possible. However, it was then and there that Drew remembered, hey, indie developers like to hide files in their files of the game files. Maybe there's more content if I browse through the game files. But what Drew Ibarra didn't know is that he would find something much, much worse. Hey, there's a program in here, and it's called UNDERDIE.exe. And so the dim-witted Kua Drew eventually started the program out of pure curiosity. And as the game loaded up, he was greeted to a black screen with nothing but white text labeled UNDERDIE. Part of me should be widely suspicious of this, but I'm gonna play it anyway. And so Drew started playing the game as he pressed the Z button. Yes, Z button, right. As he started up the game, Drew noticed that he was already playing as Frisk. Even though when you start the game, it usually asks you to put in a character name of your own. Okay, time to play. And so, the not very bright player pressed forward to make Frisk go up and up through a pure black room of pitch darkness. Eventually, as Drew kept going forward, he noticed that on the ground were red splotches. Red, hyper-realistic splotches. Oh my god, is that blood? Yes, you very, very special person. It was, in fact, hyper-realistic blood. No, I don't like this. Where's Sans? Where's Papyrus? Where's Toriel or Alphys or Undyne? And as Drew continued to push Frisk forever forward, he eventually would find the bodies of Toriel, Undyne, Alphys, and Papyrus, along with other monsters. However, they weren't your typical pixel monsters, no. For Undyne, she had hyper-realistic fish textures. For Alphys, she had hyper-realistic dinosaur textures. And for Toriel, she had hyper-realistic goat textures. However, the most disturbing one of them all was none other than the great Papyrus, who had hyper-realistic, cracked, blood-splattered bone textures. No way, it's like I can almost touch it. It was then the player noticed that his screen began to crackle as he kept walking forward in the pitch-black dark abyss, past all of the dead monster bodies. And then his screen borders became entombed by bones with hyper-realistic bone texture and blood texture. No, it can't be. It can't be possible, Urameshi. However, it was as Drew began to notice that as Frisk moved forward, a dark figure appeared on the screen. For at least a total of 5.67 seconds, the figure just stood there, shrouded in pure black darkness, until it was revealed that the figure was none other than Sans. No, Sans, why is he here? No. However, before the player could ask more, he noticed that Sans had hyper-realistic blood pooling from his eyes and mouth and nose in the gash that he received on the genocide run.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Said the demonic-looking Sans.
So, I noticed you're in this part of the game, and for people that do that, I have to kill you now.
But why, Sans? Why you gotta kill me? Oh, I don't know why I'm talking. You can't even hear me anyway. However, that was where he was wrong.
Actually, I can hear you just fine, actually. Also, I'd appreciate if you put your voice down a little bit. You're quite loud. You're quite a bone killer.
He can hear me through the game. He can hear me through the game. And as the player discovered that Sans was actually communicating to him, he asked the simple question. Why, Sans? Why you gotta kill me and send me to Spirit World?
I thought you knew, didn't you know? I am God. A bone god, if you will.
Wait, what? That's not even a good pun. However, before he noticed, the player saw Frisk be struck down by hyper-realistic bones, and before he knew it, game over on a giant red hyper-realistic in-game screen. And it was then, after that screen happened, Drew heard a hyper-realistic rendition of Megalovania play right behind him.
So, I guess you're gonna have a dead time now.
No, Urameshi! And that's about it for that. This has been Gent reading a pretty shitty creepypasta, which I saw on the website, which I'll link below. It's gonna be at let me check real quick. It'll be at badcreepypasta.wikia.com. Like I said, I'll put a link there, and if you go to the search bar or anything like that, just type in UNDERDIE. You'll see it. You'll see it and you'll recognize it. It's pretty god awful. It's a pretty stupid but enjoyable read. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my stupid rendition of it. At least try and talk about it. I know I kind of sprinkled some extra derp in there, but I mean, hey, that's what I do. So if you want to read it for yourself, go ahead, and I will see you all next time.